Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name Muhamad Amirul Amin Muhammad Nazim, and I'm with Prof. Madya Dr. Kamral Azmi Jasmi, Dr. Muhammad Faiz Ilyas, Dr. Hilmi Rozali, and Rasidah Saharan to present practical definition according to Malaysian Islamic Education teacher. Firstly, we will go to introduction. The Curriculum and Assessment Standard Document, the SKP of Form 2 Islamic Education, practice is defined as the practical implementation of the theory learned. Also, practical teaching and learning is a student-centered teaching method. For the background, for the first section, practice Islamic education in the national education system, Ministry of Education, or we call MOE, allocates 180 minutes a week in national schools and 150 minutes for national schools. However, the time allocation for Islamic education is 4 hours a week for lower secondary and 3 hours a week for upper secondary. For the next section is practical definition of teaching and learning in Islamic education. According to ENOM 2005, practical refers to the implementation of principles or theories learned based on actual experience of a science. This method is seen to be more effective in the teaching and learning process because students do the skill taught by the teacher themselves. Based on the High School Islamic Education Practice Guidebook, practice refers to a time allotted in the subject of Islamic education for students to perform Zuhur or Asar prayers in congregation on the day in questions. For the last section is practical teaching and learning issues. Study by Tamuri et al. 2004 state that the practical teaching and learning method is one of the effective methods according to Islamic education teachers' view. Unfortunately, when in the classroom, teachers are more likely to adopt lecture teaching methods than effective methods that they themselves understand. Moreover, Kamarudin Halim Osman and Muhammad Mira 2009 found that most teachers and students have a good perception and acceptance of the importance and effect of practical teaching and learning. However, there are still some teachers who ignore its implementation. This study wants to achieve the objective see the practical definition according to Islamic education teacher in Malaysia with the research question, what is the practical definition according to Islamic education teacher in Malaysia? For the methodology, firstly, the writing design carried out in the study takes a case study approach by Yin 1994 according to Islamic education teacher in 7 selected schools. Study participants were selected using a purposive sampling. Secondly, the selection of student informants used the snowball technique, that is with recommendation from selected study participants. For the in-depth interview became the primary data supported by observation and document analysis. For the last one, voting data from interviews, observation and document analysis were analyzed using NVivo 20. Eventually, patterns from the finding of the study were made into a tree diagram model and a model of a finding of the study. The finding of the teaching and learning practical definition study of Islamic education as in table 1 consists of 7 main themes, namely exposure, translation of theory, knowledge and values, giving experience practically and demonstration related to fardu ain and worship, overall practice behavior, as well as the purpose of evaluation. Of these 7 themes, 6 themes form a pattern and 1 does not form a pattern. The discussion is the practical definition is seen as a translation of a theory. knowledge and value in the findings of the study is similar to that mentioned by uh, Anom 2005, who state that one of the practical definition of teaching and learning is the implementation of principle or theories. Second, the practical definition is to give practical experience and demonstration. The practical definition is also meant to mean something related to fardu ain and worship. This matter has similarities with the study carried out by Muhammad Fakhruddin et al. 2013, which states that the practical definition is an appreciation of worship. Next, a form of overall practice behavior which is in the line with the statement Jasmine and Tamuri 2007, which mentioned that the definition of practical teaching and learning is the effort of students to do themselves in the implementation of the learned practice. And lastly, there is also a difference between the result of the study and the literature review. The only one pattern of practical definition that is not found in the literature review but is present in the research findings is the definition of teaching and learning practice as an exposure to students. The finding and discussion of the study give implication for the formation of a new teaching and learning model, namely the practical definition model according to Islamic Education teacher, secondary school. One, as exposure. Two, translation of theory, knowledge, and values. Three, giving experience. Four, practical and demonstration. Five, related to fardu ain and worship. And last, treatment overall practice. Through this model, hope that it can be used as a guide for teachers, teachers education centers at IPG or universities and Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports and Science and PPD, as well as all educational institutions in Malaysia. That's all for me. Thank you.